Hello, Kelly Williams here, founder of Entirelyfit, exercise physiologist, and holistic wellness coach with the IAWP. And today, I want to ask you a quick question. What do you think was the #1 health issue that was searched on Google in 2019 for the whole year? And think about it from a man's perspective. Maybe things like heart attacks, strokes, cancer, low T, diabetes. I don't know. Those are some. But think for just a second and come up with what you think your best guess is. Okay, time's up. Well, if you guessed high blood pressure, you're right. But that would not really have been the one I would have thought of. High blood pressure, though, when you really think about it, is very serious. And it made me think about why that was the #1 searched health issue in 2019. And to me, that tells me that a lot of people are beginning to get diagnosed with high blood pressure, and they're searching for how serious it is, what it means to have it, what they can do, how they should possibly go about managing it. And that's what I'm going to address in this video today. And I'm outside. It's kind of a rainy day, but because it is one of the most important health issues, I thought it might be a good one to address. So let's think about it for a second. The serious side of high blood pressure is that it causes things like artery damage. It increases one's risk for a heart attack or a stroke. It also increases the risk for kidney issues, erectile dysfunction, and those are some of the main things that it's related to. And it is considered a silent killer. And the reason is because most of the time people are not aware that they have it. So if you haven't had a doctor's appointment in a while, I think it would really be important to go ahead and schedule one, and to not only identify what your blood pressure is, but also identify other health risks that you may be having that can be addressed. And then if you do have high blood pressure, this is a great time to discuss it with your physician and find out what some of your options are. Now, let's talk about high blood pressure just a little bit. You've had it tested before. They put the cuff on, they pump it up, and then they give you a number, maybe 130/80 or 120/80, could be anything, 150/90. But the top number is the systolic pressure, and basically that is the pressure in your system, in your circulatory system, when the heart beats. And that would make sense that it's higher, because you would think of more pressure when something is pumping. The bottom number is the diastolic pressure, and that's the pressure in your circulatory system in between beats. So typically, anything under 120/80 is considered normal. Used to, it was 120/80, but they lowered the recommendation, and now they're really recommending somewhere in the neighborhood of 115/70 being more optimal. But anything under 120/80 is considered normal. And there are different stages. It's considered elevated if your systolic pressure, the top number, is between 120 and 30, and the diastolic is under 80. Stage 1 high blood pressure is when the systolic pressure is between 130 and 140, or the diastolic pressure is between 80 and 90. Stage 2 high blood pressure would be when the systolic pressure, or the top number, is above 140, or the diastolic is above 90. Now, it becomes very critical if one's blood pressure, the systolic number, is over 180, or the diastolic is above 120 when at rest. Now, all of those numbers that I just gave you is at a resting blood pressure measurement. When you exercise, blood pressure, especially the top number, is expected to rise. The bottom number should stay pretty close to normal, or maybe even drop a little bit. So these are resting values that I was talking about. So those are numbers to really know about and realize that optimal is below 120/80. So get your blood pressure checked. If it's elevated, talk with your doctor about some strategies. Now, I want to give you some tips that you can work on to manage your blood pressure naturally. And of course, you would measure this, you would monitor this with your physician and make sure that your strategies are working. So, number one is to start making sure that you get at least 30 minutes of exercise 5 days a week for a total of about 150 minutes. And that helps a lot of other health risk behaviors as well. Could be strength exercise or cardiovascular. A little combination of both would be ideal. Start easy, gradually build up to that. Don't just start with 30 minutes if you're not currently exercising. So start easy, build up, and do that over a period of a few weeks or months, and that will help. It's been shown many times that meditation and some other mindset strategies to reduce your stress helps with your blood pressure. Right now we're going through this time of the coronavirus. It's creating a lot of uncertainty and stress in a lot of people, and this would be an ideal time to start practicing some meditation practices and learning some of those strategies. It's important to get adequate sleep, and sleep is one of those behaviors that carries over to so many other health issues. So get 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Eat a healthy diet. A couple of nutrients that are found in certain foods, potassium and naturally occurring nitrates, are very important. You get these from fruits and vegetables. Some of the vegetables where the nitrates are found are your green vegetables like spinach, turnip greens, kale, and then other things like radishes, celery, onions, garlic. Those will have some of those nitrates. And then potassium is found in fruits like bananas and watermelon, apples, pears, and strawberries and grapes. So get a wide mix of fruits and vegetables in your diet. The other thing is, if you smoke, definitely quit smoking. This is one of the biggest risk factors for high blood pressure and many other issues. So definitely work on strategies with your physician to quit smoking. Reduce your body fat if you're overweight. Obviously, with the exercise that was mentioned previously and with working on eating a healthier diet, those will play a part in that. Getting sleep also plays a role in that as well. So make it a priority to reduce your body fat. Reduce your sodium to below 2,300 milligrams per day, and optimally at about 1,500 milligrams. The average American is getting between 3,300 and 5,000 milligrams per day, which is 2 to 3 times the recommended amount. And it is a difficult thing to do. So start reading your labels and reducing your sodium intake. Cut back on sugar and processed foods. Many processed meats and other processed and canned and packaged foods and packaged meals are very high in sodium. Restaurant meals are usually very high in sodium, so beware. Definitely read your restaurant meal labels if possible, or nutrition information. And then reduce your alcohol consumption. Moderate is fine, but too much alcohol also puts you at a higher risk for high blood pressure. So, with all that being said, I think it's important, if you haven't already and if you're not familiar with what your blood pressure is, schedule an appointment with your physician, get your blood pressure checked. If it's high, start practicing some of these behaviors. Have a conversation with your physician about some strategies and work with them. See if it's a good strategy to try to do this on your own, and what the recommendations are as well. Definitely follow these tips regardless, because they're going to help. And then also, I challenge you to record your sodium intake for about a week and just get an idea of where the sodium is coming from in your foods and in your beverages, and work on those strategies. So I really hope these tips help. I hope you don't have high blood pressure and that you can reduce your risk for getting it as you age. And until next time, be well, be grateful, and keep trying to be entirely fit. Have a great day. Bye-bye.